It's time to get her done. Once again, we're going to just test things out. I've been doing a lot in the background to make sure that we are getting a good experience, which I think so far is really kind of working out. We shall see. And of course, I'm going to come back into this video right now and just have absolutely no control. I cannot get back into my own aircraft. I can't walk. Sometimes you just kind of have to question what the hell is going on with Microsoft. If we do a restart, we'll see what happens. It should work. I dye the grass. Either way, what we are doing is making sure that you understand things are going well. Graphically, this thing is everything I want it to be. While I'm on the ground here, we're going to actually start to dive into some of the things that we've seen before in these streams that's questionable. Like if I were to bring up the Alt-R to see what my graphics are doing right now. What are my frame rates doing? Well, I have my EFB off on another page, and as soon as I bring that EFB back over the main screen, because I'm using a double monitor, as soon as I bring that EFB over the main screen, you can see I'm currently running it at 37 FPS. 98% of the GPU, only 20% of the CPU, right? And now that question of why is that all of a sudden glitching becomes related to dragging my EFB off screen. And I'm going to drag the mission steps off screen. And let's see what happens to my frames per second little view. Oh, I haven't changed it. But by itself, it has started to vanish. So I don't think this has anything other than, oh, and it's back, all right? This doesn't have much to do with, I don't know at this point. But at least I know that I'm running a pretty good size frame rate right now. This is 28 inside, 31, 34, 37, not bad. So one problem solved right off the bat. I'm getting 45 FPS. My settings inside of the simulator are still pretty low. As far as global rendering qualities, I'm using the ultra settings for pre-caching and buildings, as well as trees, but when it comes to plants, rocks, and grass, I have those off. My terrain level of detail is at 100, but the objects level of detail is down to 10. Volumetrics cloud is at ultra. Texture resolutions is at medium, off for both filtering of anisotropic and texturing sampling. I have everything else basically set to low, a couple of other things set to high, but I've just really set these graphics down pretty low. And I'm getting a really just decent result out of it. I'm not mad about the situation, and we're just going to fly as many missions as we can right here. Still got the tag underneath. Pitot tube. Should be able to inspect my gear, which look absolutely awful at this point. However, the graphics in general, I would say look pretty good. Let's get that ground team involved. are you guys doing with your mission sets? Again, this is only a 2080 Ti. The biggest benefit I believe I have right now is the 128 gigabytes of the DDR4 period, and the amount of multi-threading that the system is doing. But now that you can see I'm in the cockpit and the EFB is attached to the helicopter, my frames per second doesn't have an issue being displayed. But as soon as I were to disconnect that EFB and bring it off screen, which is where I like to keep it, just to keep the image as best it could, you're going to start to see that break up a little bit. We'll do the same thing to the mission steps. We'll just kind of bring that, where'd it go? There it is. We're going to bring that off as well. And then all of a sudden you're going to see that FPS start to glitch in and out. Right? But we're going to take that down, Alt-R, no problem. Get that twist grip back into place. Fired up. It's looking a little dirty today. I'm gonna take this thing for a ride. There's literally almost no smearing. Passive income overnight, it's a little bit over 2 million. One of the other big problems that I've been having lately is a sticky throttle system. And again, if you don't know, I'm using the Thrustmaster T16000M, which does have kind of like a T-bar collective, full cyclic, and a set of pedals to go with it. And I've been making quite a few comments on these videos about how that collective has been sticky. And wouldn't you know it, I got the man inside of me to say I should take this thing apart and see if there's a way for me to fix it. So what I wound up doing is unscrewing the base of this thing and finding something like a leaf spring. And that leaf spring can be tensioned. And I believe by adjusting the tension of that leaf spring, I have been able to kind of more accurately get input with my collective. I think I might put a video about it up here in the near future, as I believe it is it's just a fantastic fix to an issue. At least it's what it's appearing to be. A fix to that ground effect issue that I've been showing you guys over the last few videos, where I get relatively close to the ground and then all of a sudden it will just try to smash the helicopter into the planet. I believe that's actually the electronic electro signal. Hello. It's the electronic signals that are going between the throttle and the USB port. And since I've done that, and it was literally less than about a 4-minute degree turn with a Phillips head screwdriver, and I was able to take almost all of the unwanted tension out of the throttle. And now it's just a smooth, quiet experience. Like before, when I would throttle up, throttle down, I would hear a little bit of, stickiness within the throttle system. And that is since a thing of the past. And it is now just a smooth experience. So I'm curious to see what it looks like running these missions. I do most of my testing in free flights. But today, we're in career mode. Got a dirty bird today. And I am seeing like a shift of frames in a horizontal pattern across when I either move the camera or do any kind of like slewing. But once that camera movement stops, it seems to go away. And I am now on DLAA settings. Quite a dynamic environment today. A lot of contrast. It does have a rather good, like, stutter to it with these settings. Yeah. I think that's mostly attributed to ultra settings in volumetric clouds. One thing I haven't done in a long time is a free flight. But what I think I might do is actually share a little spot on the planet that I came across that you guys might just be interested in. I think it's the most rock and roll thing on the planet. But I think we should get a few people to join in on that flight. It's a cool little backstory on the spot. And it's just rock and roll. Unlike this track right here. However, it is a testament to just how well Bing Maps is producing information on the planet. And I think it'd be a fun spot for everybody to experience. And I'll share the backstory on the location as well. I think we'll schedule that here in an upcoming free flight within the next couple of days, if not sooner. Feel free to join in. I am definitely within the search area. Cannot exit aircraft. I can honestly say I didn't try to. I am very curious to see what they fix with this first bug fix. Like they said 1,000 pieces, 1,000 bug fixes in one go. That's going to be interesting. They're just nowhere to be seen. That throttle adjustment is absolutely everything. The video that I put out next, as far as how to fix your Thrustmaster T16000M and make sure that that experience is what you expect out of it, I think is going to be a great benefit to a lot of people. This is a very good result. Even though I can't find my survivor at this point, the helicopter itself is responding very well. Up to now. The problem is finding the survivor. I've been over the search area a total of about 1.8 times. Nothing. Gotta be in here somewhere. Farm Guy 06, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, the graphics on this are actually turning out pretty good. This has been a phenomenal little game so far. Thanks for stopping in. Somewhere in this mess of trees, there's supposed to be somebody stranded. Haven't found them yet, but that's what we're working on. Yeah, there's a gigantic difference between the two, that is for sure. I have never tried it on the Xbox platform, but even here on the PC, the difference between the two is quite astonishing, actually. One thing is for sure is I have spent an excessive amount of time in this area looking for my survivors to no avail. I would agree the PC would be better for games like this, especially when you do have a HOTAS, a collective, cyclic, pedals. That kind of setup seems to be just more intuitive to flight in general. I do see smoke on the horizon finally. It's coming in there just at the 12 o'clock, right on top of the hills. Can't tell you how many times we flew over that spot, but I do see smoke. I think the best part of running this on a PC is I'm actually running it on a very old 2080 Ti. It is RTX, but it has got some years on it. They are out into the 50 series already, so for the this graphics card to be working this hard, I'm pretty happy with it. Keeping up to date with your graphics drivers as a PC user is just absolutely essential, and finding the different peripherals makes the experience all that much better. There we go, smoke in the trees right here. Now let's see if we've got a spot to put down. Now, I'm not going to actually signal intercom just yet. I want to make sure that I have a good landing location picked out first. A lot of the times what I can do is literally just come down right on top of the tent. But we shall see. It doesn't look like it's too accessible in this one. There is a spot just to the left of it, so I'm going to trigger comms, and we're going to see if we can't come into this thing tight. Yes, sir, I am in the base sim 2. This is the career mode of MSFS 2024. And I am specifically paying attention to the search and rescue. Trying not to crash at the moment. Talk about a tight spot. That's just no good. I do see a little bit more of a spot right here. And I think what I might do is actually try to get out and walk up. So my survivor is there. I think we got that one. Straight up. Right out the trees. Gone with it. See, I think one of the biggest things I've ever done to help me with the success of these missions is to turn like the rocks and bushes and other like lower ground features just off completely. And then really rely on your ability to get into a vertical hover. But the biggest key for me, especially with my specific set of controls right now, it being the Thrustmaster T16000M, is the slight adjustment that I have made to that sort of leaf spring in my throttle. And taking some of the tension off of that specific mechanism. I appreciate the compliment there, Farm Guy. Thank you very much. Bringing it down on some tight trees is always a good time. It has gotten a lot easier since I've fixed my own controllers. It almost appears as if the ground effect overreaction that I was seeing and feeling before was more of a result of my controller than anything. It does make a lot of sense. It took me a while to get there because, I mean, in free flights, I was having a kind of a different experience than I was in career mode. I don't know. It's hard to explain. All I know is I MacGyvered this thing a little bit, and so far it tends to be working out. Like I said, I'm probably going to wind up putting a video out exactly on how I accomplished it with this throttle system, because I think it might help quite a few people. Got our runway off to our right now. It wants to come into it's telling me to climb to 3,300 feet still on my message board for mission steps. I'm going to try to accomplish it, even though I am coming in basically for the approach. Inside, coming up on it. Just gonna make it a long approach. Nice dirty windshield today. Let's go ahead and make that right turn. We'll announce the arrival and our position. I've also turned the volumes down on all of that nonsense because frankly I'm tired of hearing the same inputs over and over and over again. I would subscribe to you, but I have too many. I'm assuming you're saying it seems you have too many subscriptions for the amount of subscribers that you have. Never had that happen before. Interesting. Well, I appreciate you wanting to subscribe, and thanks for stopping in. You know, I never say, hey, you need to subscribe, like videos, and any of that stuff. So, thanks for your interest. You know, I'm just out here trying to share some helpful tips to people about how to get these things working right on older graphics cards, and kind of keeping it real with these search and rescue missions. I am specifically dedicated to the helicopter emergency medical services side of the simulator, whether it is in the H-125 like we're flying tonight, or if it's in the 145 by Hype Performance Group. It's all about search and rescue for me, and trying to optimize system. Go ahead and turn visualizations on here for just a hot second. No worries at all, Farm Guy. I appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. You ever have any questions, feel free to chime in. Let me know what you think. I've come up with quite a few little minor solutions along the way. It is saying to approach runway 20. And again, since I've made that correction to the collective, these approaches have just gone like butter lately. That jarring effect that I used to be getting where it would just pull me straight down, I think was actually just a phantom electrical signal within the controller itself yanking me into the ground. But a phantom signal. And now that I've made the correction to that leaf spring underneath, I believe I've actually fixed that problem altogether. I don't know if this is just me, or maybe it's coincidence, but either way, I do plan on putting a video out tomorrow, hopefully. If all goes well, we'll see what the schedule winds up to be, but hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to put out a little bit more information about what I've found with this specific set of controllers that is going to hopefully greatly benefit quite a few people. I'm going to let this spool down to 170 here. We'll get in and take a look at these numbers. Make sure we don't damage our engine. I have not seen Jet Ranger Medevac yet, Joker. However, that is all as a result of the marketplace still being unavailable. Right? So as soon as Microsoft Asobo and the team decide to put forth the confidence that they need to before releasing the full marketplace, that's not going to be a thing just yet. However, it is coming. They have delayed it because they don't want to cause any more of a ripple. The biggest thing that I'm excited about is the Miltech 60. They're going to bring out the 60. And when they do that, they've mentioned that they want to make sure that it is mission capable and career mode capable. The 60 is the one I'm paying the most attention to at this point. Now that we've got that spool down below 140, we'll go ahead and trigger that bad boy down and hopefully collect an S. We'll see if the rating today is an S or not. The 60 is going to be everything we've been waiting for. Retrieval time took a little bit of a hit, of course. It did take me quite a while to find them. However, solid S. And the graphics are holding up very, very nicely. And again, if I were to close out that EFB and make sure that this thing is put away, we get a much better representation of what this overlay looks like. And I'll leave that up here for just a hot minute as we get into another mission. And we'll see what kind of frame rates I've been getting out of this lately. A little bit cloudy. And no matter what I seem to do to this aircraft at this point, even if I come in and do the update, everything is good. I'll even do a full repaint for 76. And I've said this in the past, no matter what I do to clean up this aircraft, it doesn't seem to be doing anything visually to it within the hangar. So I think it's time to start possibly considering replacing some of these aircraft, but I'm not sure just yet. I think that's all just something that we're going to see more in the new update to be fixed. And I'm kind of more like knee-jerk reactions, because right here, it seems to be in really good condition, so I'm okay with that. But I'm going to leave that FPS counter up there in the corner this time. On the 2080 Ti. Almost no wind. And this time it's remembered that my mission steps were out. So now that I have my cursor over the mission steps on my second window, that pop out with the FPS is becoming available again. But as soon as I take my cursor off of it, that should go away. There it goes. So we wanted to find out the solution to that problem, but there it is. It is broken between a dual monitor system. Other than that, though, I think these graphics are actually looking pretty good. Pop that EFB back up there and see that frame rate stays there, but as soon as I eject this, that starts to throw a little bit of a fit, and we kind of lose that frames per second. So either way, at least we figured out why that isn't coming out there, but at least I'm getting, you know, on average over 30 FPS per second. You know, I'm okay with it. Clearance. Waiting for clearance. Of course, I'm doing all of the clearance for clearance through ATC with all of the volumes down, and I'm just paying attention to mission steps. Because frankly, I'm a little tired of hearing the repetition of it all. But look at how much more control I have over the helicopter's collective, right? Like the last time I was in this spot, the helicopter wanted to get sucked into the planet. But ever since I tweaked this leaf spring on my controller, I'm having a completely different experience. Again, that's the T16000M, and I'll come out with a video here shortly on how to get this done if this is the same controller you're using. But this has had a huge benefit for me thus far. Like, I'm able to stay pretty low to the ground without a problem. You know, normally this thing would be just dragged right back into the planet, but ever since I've changed this, aviator performance. See, and here's how we're going to adjust this. I'll take your performance and raise you one restart. I dare you to take away that S rating from me. I'm not too proud. Maybe a little vain, but not too proud. Yeah, you can confirm that, Joker. It was too touchy in the cyclic. See, the cyclic isn't really the issue for me, though. The issue with my T16 is actually the throttle. I was able to take care of the cyclic issues by going into the settings and adjusting the controls sensitivities by input and doing like a right stick and then the settings and going into the curve, and you can see I have this slight curvature here with only a 0.1 sensitivity for the positive and negative side of things, and then I've included a dead zone plus an extremity dead zone, which I believe is the most essential part of it, right? So basically what this is doing is saying that I don't need to use the full extent of the movement to get the full extent of the control out of my peripheral. There's a lot of words. I hope they make sense, right? But if you want to look at it a different way, we've got this arrow here, right? And it's curved, so there's no input in the very center, and as it goes, just barely putting any input into it, it's getting slightly more control than it does here. It's not a straight line anymore, but I believe that's what's helping the control systems out for this chopper more than anything. Is the curvature. You can come in and do the same thing if you were to do like, I'll go back one more time, and we'll input backwards. Now this is the Y movement, and it's the same sensitivity, right? And you'll notice these values right here they'll vary, right? Like it should be a 0.1 a round value, but it's close enough. That's where I believe you get the better control out of the chopper more than anything, is in the helicopter's sensitivities. But beyond that, the throttle system that I've had was just sticky in general. So I opened it up and readjusted some of the tension on a single screw within the collective. You know, that's that T-bar slider. And once I did that, man, this thing it's responding completely different all around the planet, whether it's a search and rescue mission or like a hoist cargo. Get that ground team dialed up. My biggest thing right now is opening up the planet with the travel areas, because these density areas are going to be continuously moving as the seasons progress. And that little blip right there was me bringing up the mission steps, which did appear on my second monitor. Go ahead and request that taxi. But these GFX settings right now for me are just, they're killing it. I'm extremely happy with it. Clearance. We'll go ahead and acknowledge taxi, and we'll get this bird in the air. Just as steady as can be. And this, I will attribute this 100% right now to what I've done to my own throttle. It's not necessarily the physics of the game that were causing this issue. It was my controllers. Request that takeoff clearance. Again, this 125 does not have any trim. So if you're flying this, you're flying it by hand. Turn those visual assistants off if you care to. Open up your experience a little bit. I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it again. If you're gonna ding me, you're gonna ding me. We're up and we're out. It shouldn't have that much of a negative impact. We'll get over it the second time around. Appreciate you stopping in, Joker. Thanks for coming by. They're going to give us another one to work for, though. This one's back in the mountains again. I am very excited about our next free fly. I'm not going to lie. The spot that I found is a tribute to just how well Bing Maps is doing with generating the fauna and flora of this planet. I think it's one of the most rock and roll things I've actually ever found in this simulator, and I'm very excited to share it with everybody. I am a musician myself, so if that's a little bit of a hint, it is musically related. It's a rock and roll feature of this game that you would have never expected. Again, there's almost no smearing anywhere on the aircraft. All the graphics are just coming in nice and smooth. I'm looking this at 1440. Hopefully you're able to as well. I've seen a lot of these actually crash. Red Rock Amphitheater, Joker? Nope, because that would be probably something that they would include in an add-on. This is something base simulator that was actually created by a human being that we have record of. But it is a creation of a human being that was recognized by satellites and regenerated within this simulator basically for eternity. And I think it's actually it's very cool. It's a rock and roll kind of thing, man. I'm excited to show you guys. I don't want to give away too much. Red Rocks is I actually used to work with some people that worked there. So if you don't know, I actually have a history in television, and I was an instructor for a school for a while. And one of my co-instructors worked at the Red Rock. It's one of my favorite music venues of all time. Red Rock is great, but man, I hope you're excited about it. I am. I don't know how to explain it. Somebody decided to make an impact on the planet to honor another person, and their efforts have been recognized by satellites and recreated in this simulator, and I find that remarkable. This guy basically created a tribute to his wife. And he created the tribute out of his own land. And the tribute that he created is not only imprinted on the planet, it's imprinted in this simulator as well. And it's a testament to how accurate these maps really are. Can't wait to get you guys there. We'll do it soon. I'm going to open up to a free flight as well so you guys can join in on it. We are in our search area. My collective control right now is just, it's so smooth that it's hard to believe. And it was such an easy fix. It's another video I'm very excited to put out. Smoke, smoke, smoke. Let's get this bad boy figured out. What do we think we're going to do for this one? I don't know if this is going to be plausible for a one skid toe-in approach. I think we're going to have to basically land on the ridge above close enough to get out and explore for our survivor. That's a pretty good distance. And again, I'm not going to signal anybody just yet. Icarus is back, still smoking it because he's got him. I think I might actually left skid touchdown this bad boy. I'm going to call it in. So I have triggered the ATC for mission steps. And I'm going to try to just left skid down. My right hand is basically off of the controls at this point, other than just a few corrections for the nose. I'm going to parallel the left skid to the mountain. And I'm going to slowly bring it down. And I'm going to correct with my collective. Even as it slides down, I'm good. I'm good. I want a full collective this bad boy right now. I've got power in, and we're off the mountain with our survivor. And we're headed back. Let's go. Yeah, right? That's a helpful survivor. Anytime we can get a survivor to levitate off the ground and meet us at least halfway, it's a good day. I appreciate the compliment, Icarus. Thanks for coming back, man. Good to see you. I have thoroughly enjoyed the helicopter versions of these mission steps so very much. It pains me for all of the people out there that are just stuck die-hard fixed-wing missions that are having so many problems, because these are going swimmingly. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's been a little tedious with the DLSS and the NVIDIA driver updates. But man, this experience has been nothing short of fantastic as far as I'm concerned. And by the time they get it 100% fixed, which is around the time 2028 should be released, I'll have most of the planet unlocked. If not all of it. Looking forward to sharing more of my progress with you, Icarus. Have a good night. We'll see you soon, man. Blessings.
There's something you see in me, 'cause I see the same in you. I know that there's more than meets the eye, 'cause you light up my world tonight. there's something you see in me, 'cause I see the same you. I know that there's more than meets the eye, 'cause you light up my world tonight. So we should be floating to wherever we're going, 'cause if the sky is an ocean, then we're going slow motion. Then we're going slow motion.
Get that ATC communications going. Getting close. Ready to fly to the pattern. Coming up on long final. And again, I can slowly bring this bird down. I'm just screaming as far as speed goes. Ever since I fixed this T16000M's collective, it's been great. Top of it, but we're looking for runway 32. You can see our windsock, and that is basically our aiming point. Now we can start to see some of the white dots on the left and right side of our airport. The stickiness of my throttle is completely gone and out of the picture, and these approaches into these airports have become butter. And that's my own controller making a difference more than I could possibly imagine. Who knew? A leaf spring is what made the difference. Shut your front door. I am good with that. We'll bring that throttle back. We'll bring that engine down. At least I think we will. We're going to bring that down to a 170 and call that one probably another probable S. I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? I let that take a little bit longer than normal, but hey, let's face it, everybody needs a bio break every now and again, right? Can you blame me? Score it for me. Give me the S across the board. There it is. You know it was coming. How does that take a negative hit? What? What? we go from here? Well, since I've been spending millions of dollars to open up this planet, you would think that there would be a ton of missions. But not really the case. I've got aircraft just about all over the planet. The missions that are normally in the area of the North America region, not available. Most of these are. I think we come over here, do a little bit of mountain rescuing, keep this party flowing. Because, again, we're also testing to see whether or not this thing is going to crash. Be patient, let that planet load in. Give it some room to breathe. Enjoy a good bird bath. Get this thing in the air. And this time around, we are DLAA. FYI. I'm excited to show you guys this video of how I fixed this controller. It's such a simple fix, but I think this is actually fixed more than just my controller's sensitivity. It's actually fixed how this game is performing. I don't know how else to put it. Something like that ground effect issue was never a ground effect issue. It was a controller situation.
You and me together, we could be anything, anything. You and me together, we could be anything, anything.
What a difference. See, before, right there, I guarantee that one spot alone would have just sucked me right back into the planet. I mean, I can feel the turbulence, but before, it was controller related. As I speak. Come on. Just have to speak too soon every time, don't you? Need I remind you, 2080 Ti. be very nice if I could figure out where they are. Sure if it's coming through in the stream as well as it is in real time, but I'm getting a lot more smearing for some reason. No other settings have changed. all that. More than just one circuit has been made. First of all, I do believe I might be just too high off the ground. But considering I've made more than one loop around, it is very interesting. If I pull an S rating out of this mission,